Imagine coming home late at night after a long day and noticing a door in your apartment hallway that has never been there before. And when you knock, it whispers back to you. That's exactly what happened to me. I had been living in room 3B on the third floor of an old apartment building for 6 months. The hallway was always predictable. 4 doors on each side, a fire exit at the end, and a faint smell of damp paint that never seemed to go away. The floorboards creaked loudly with every step, the lights flickered randomly, and the peeling wallpaper made the walls look grey and tired. Everything had felt normal, mundane, even boring, until that night. It was around 1:30 a.m., and I was tired, my mind foggy from work. As I unlocked my door, I froze. Between my apartment and my neighbor's, there was a dark, old door I had never noticed. The wood looked worn and almost blackened, no handle, only a keyhole and a small metal number above it. 3D. My chest tightened. I asked my neighbor, Mrs. Harper, if she had seen it. Her face went pale. "There is no door there, and there never has been," she whispered. I tried to convince myself it was just my imagination. That night, the hallway felt heavier, darker. Then I heard it, slow, deliberate tapping outside my apartment. 4 knocks, then scratching along the wall. My heart was hammering. I whispered to myself, "It's just the building settling." But the tapping continued, closer and more deliberate. The next morning, I found an envelope on the floor. No one had knocked. Inside was a rusty key with a small tag. "Welcome to your new room." I didn't open the door. Over the next few nights, the tapping never stopped. Sometimes, when the building was silent and I was alone, I would hear the 4 slow taps again, faint scratching, and whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. "You weren't supposed to notice me." Every time I imagined that hallway, the door seemed to stretch, the space between 3B and 3C looking deeper, darker, as if the building itself had grown a mouth, waiting for me to step inside. 3 days later, I moved out, but even now, when I close my eyes, I can see that dark door and hear the tapping, calling me back. You think blocked numbers are safe, until one night, a message appears from a number you don't know. "I see you're awake." I was home alone, curtains closed, door locked, yet my heart froze. My hands shook as I typed back, "Who is this?" The 3 dots appeared immediately, then another message. "Turn your phone brightness down. It's too easy to see your face." I froze. I scanned the apartment. Windows closed, closet shut. No one could possibly be inside. Yet the air felt heavy, tense, almost suffocating, like someone was standing right behind me. I typed, "Stop messing with me." Seconds later, "I'm not messing with you. I'm watching you." Then, "Don't look behind you." My chest tightened. I slowly turned toward the closet. The door was slightly open, even though I always kept it shut. I froze in place. Then my phone buzzed again. A photo this time. My bedroom, taken from the corner near the closet. In the reflection of my mirror, I saw myself sitting on the bed, holding my phone, and behind me, a tall, thin shadow stood perfectly still. My blood ran cold. I didn't wait. I ran out of the apartment without even grabbing my wallet, spending the night in my car, too terrified to return. The next day, I tried to convince myself it had been a prank or a trick of my imagination. But that night I returned, and above my bed, written in black dust, a new message. "Tonight, don't run." My stomach turned to ice. I grabbed a bag and left again. I haven't returned since. But sometimes, late at night, my phone buzzes again. One last message, 4 simple words. "I can still see you." Even now, I can't shake the feeling that someone, or something, is still in that apartment, watching, waiting, and knowing I can never be truly safe. Every creak of a floorboard, every flicker of light, every shadow that moves just slightly out of the corner of my eye brings me back to that night and the terror that followed me out the door. If you hear someone walking inside your apartment when you know you are completely alone, don't check, because they might be waiting for you. I moved into apartment 7F because it was cheap, quiet, and close to my job. And the building manager, an old man with tired eyes, warned me just once. "Whatever you do, don't answer if someone knocks after midnight." I laughed, thinking he was trying to scare me. But the first night, right at 12:17 a.m., I heard slow, heavy footsteps moving across my living room floor, even though I was locked inside my bedroom. At first, I convinced myself it was just the building settling. Old pipes, old wood, old memories trapped in the walls. The footsteps moved toward my bedroom door. Then they stopped. The silence that followed was worse than the sound. Then came the knocking, not on the door, but on the wall right beside my head. 1, 2, 3 soft taps. I sat frozen on my bed, barely breathing. Then it happened again. But this time, the taps were higher, like someone now standing instead of crouching. The next morning, I checked the apartment and found dusty shoe prints on the floor. They were not mine. I asked the building manager who used to live in my apartment, and his face turned gray. He hesitated before finally saying, "A young man lived there before you. He locked himself inside one night and never came back out." The second hook came a week later. I came home and found something sitting in the middle of my living room floor. An old photo of my apartment, taken from inside before I had ever moved in. And in the photo, I was standing there, facing the camera, even though I had never taken that picture. Behind me, there was another figure, tall, blurred, watching. That night, I heard breathing behind me as I washed my face in the bathroom mirror, slow and deep, right against my ear. I saw the glass fog up from a breath that wasn't mine. When I turned around, no one was there, but a message was written in the fog. "You're in my space now." The knocking started again, every night, closer to my bedroom door each time. My things began to move. My chair was turned toward my bed every morning, and the scariest part wasn't the sounds, it was the feeling that someone was watching me sleep. One night, unable to take it anymore, I whispered into the darkness, "What do you want from me?" For a long moment, nothing happened. Then a voice replied, right next to my pillow, cold and broken. "I just want my life back." I left the apartment the next morning and never returned. But sometimes in mirrors and windows, I still see him standing behind me, as if I never really left apartment 7F at all. Have you ever heard someone living above you when there is no floor above your apartment? I lived on the top floor of my building, apartment 11B. No one was supposed to be above me, just an empty ceiling and the roof. That's why the first noise I heard late one night didn't make any sense. Slow, dragging footsteps moving directly over my bed. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but the footsteps became heavier, followed by something being dragged from one side of the room to the other. Then came a single knock from the ceiling. I sat up and stared upward, confused and scared. The second night, the same thing happened, but this time I heard a quiet voice whisper my name from above. I checked with the landlord the next day, asking if anyone lived in the space above my apartment. He shook his head and said, "There is no floor above you. Never has been." That should have been the end of it, but the third hook arrived a week later. I woke up to find small pieces of white dust on my bed, falling from the ceiling. Then thin lines appeared on the ceiling, as if someone on top was scratching, trying to break through. Night after night, the lines grew longer and deeper, forming what looked like the outline of a hand. One night I whispered, "Who's up there?" Everything went completely silent. Then slowly, something pressed down from the other side, creating the shape of a full face in the ceiling, pushing through like soft skin. A mouth formed, and it spoke in a cracked, painful voice. "You're sleeping in my room." My blood turned to ice. I realized the building had been constructed over an old house that had burned down years ago, trapping a family inside their bedroom. Now that space, their space, was trying to return. The final night, the ceiling above my bed started cracking completely open. Cold air poured down, followed by a burned hand reaching through. I ran, screaming, out of the apartment and never came back. A month later, the building collapsed after reports of structural damage. But sometimes, when I close my eyes at night, I can still hear it, the slow footsteps above me, and the voice begging, "Give me back my room."